to another episode of the wonderful God is a Geek podcast. My name is Chris White. Joining me this week is Mr. Gary Bailey. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm pretty good. Pretty good, yeah, because there's some cool stuff to talk about. And we're also joined by the Celtic stud with a lust for blood, Mr. Adam Carroll.
Jesus, that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I did try one for Gary, but it didn't work, and I needed to know if you like minions or not, because I was trying to rhyme something with opinions.
And you were comparing him to a minion.
No, it was like, I can't. It was on my phone. It was great. It was great, and I was going to do a full-on like wrestling intro because we're talking about Fire Pro Wrestling, and it just didn't work. So, yeah,
you tried it.
Fuck that. But one day, maybe one day. But anyway, video games. So I've not been on for a few weeks, and there's a couple of games that I'm going to be talking about. So we'll get started, shall we? Shenmue. This will be interesting because I'm going to try not to. I reckon you should, to be honest, for at least half an hour, because that's how long I could talk about this in reason. But I won't.
Sorry, I need a good nap.
Oh, you're a bitch. You're a little bitch, right? But never mind. Shenmue. So, people that know God is Geek know that I'm a big fan of this game. I'm not going to talk about the game itself, like the story and that, because if you know it was released over 18 years ago, but talk about it as a re-release and a port essentially. So when it came out in 1999 in Japan, it was the most kind of ambitious, one of the most ambitious video games ever. It was the kind of first to introduce a day and night cycle. And kind of an open world, as much of an open world as you could get in those days. And it's by a guy called Yu Suzuki. And if you're not familiar with him, he's behind the arcade classics such as like Space Harrier and Super Hang-On and stuff like that, which are all kind of playable in the arcade in a Shenmue. It's kind of like a throwback to his career before this. But like, there's so many other big games like this now, such as GTA and The Witcher and Watch Dogs 2, all these massive open worlds. So it's not going to be the same. But as a re-release, it holds up in some respects because of the way the kind of the story progresses. You very much feel like you are living a second life in Shenmue, because you wake up in the morning, you leave the house, you go about your day-to-day business, whether you're investigating the kind of cause of your father's death or trying to find out more about what happened to him, and then you're making sure you're home for kind of like 8-9 o'clock, or else your housemaid gets worried about you, so you have to make sure you're home in time. And you get kind of money given to you by her, and you get to spend it any which way you want. So that kind of aspect makes it feel like a second life. And then there's points in the game where you get a job as a forklift driver on a dock, and you get up, go to work, come home, go to bed, and you do that for about a week. So it was kind of revolutionary at the time. But what they've done for the port is barely touch the game itself. They've improved the graphics. It's now got like HD resolution, and the kind of inventory and the save menus are more kind of easier to use. The UI is certainly improved. And one thing that hasn't changed particularly, or they haven't seemed to have done anything with, is the sound, which is very muffled, and I was quite surprised because you expect it to be a bit crisper, but it feels like they've not done anything with that. And as much as the music is fantastic, it's weird. It sounds like it's underwater at times, and they've not really done anything to it, and which I kind of would have expected, because that's something you could fix. But on the whole, I mean, it was great to be back. I wasn't disappointed, because I was worried about the whole, you know, how nostalgia can ruin us when we go back to get to opportunities to go back and play something. But yeah, it's great. It's really, I'm glad that both of them have been re-released as well, because we kind of get.
Yeah, they didn't do that the last time, did they? When they brought it out for Xbox, was it just Shenmue 2?
Yeah,
the first one was just a movie that they put on a disc for one reason or another. Yeah.
Because I played Shenmue 2 on the Dreamcast, because I think it came out 2000, but I got it the same kind of Christmas, I think 2001 when they released Shenmue 2. So I got them both on my birthday, which is 2 days before Christmas. And then I just blitzed both of them. So the second one at the time, there was no English track on it. It wasn't dubbed. They didn't have time to work on it. It was right at the end of the Dreamcast life, which wasn't very long, to be fair. But they just didn't have the time to do it. So that they released it on Xbox, a bit later on with the dubbing and that. But yeah, the first game was only ever on the Dreamcast. So it's taken a long time. There's been a lot of rumblings within that camp over the last 4 years with the Shenmue 3 announcement and all that. But it's a good idea, to gauge what people will enjoy the third. But
where do you think this series is sitting right now? I have zero Dreamcast memories. It is the weirdest thing. I don't know why. I just never ever played a Dreamcast in my life, and all I heard about was this game all the time. And I honestly don't know what kind of gameplay it is. I don't know the story. I literally know nothing about this game, but it's pretty praised. Some people find it very boring. Some people find it like one of the best games of all time. For me personally, I just see it as a game that kind of looks like it has some kind of Yakuza kind of Deadly Premonition kind of thing going on. I don't know if it's just Deadly Premonition now is very minor because I'm just going off of the back of how it kind of looks. Also as well, I'm so baffled by the colour of his jacket all the time. It just looks like cow shit. I don't know. What.
It's not great.
It's not a great jacket.
It's not great.
He should definitely return it.
Before Gary chips in, because I can hear him making comments. I get you don't like him, mate. And if I'm being completely honest, as a guy who loves it, I think I love it for different reasons than how it's perceived by the masses. Because when you look at other games, there's 50, 60, 70 other games better than Shenmue. But I think at that time of playing, it was something completely new. Like the whole mechanics behind it. So when I played that for the first time, it kind of blew me away. And I've always kind of liked Japanese culture, and it just welcomed me into that kind of that side of video games. I never really played anything other than typical big releases, and this kind of came along and introduced me to which would become Yakuza, because even though it's different developers, it was still Sega, and it does a lot. Like Yakuza does a lot now that was in Shenmue, like the arcades, for example. The combat, it all kind of was taken from Shenmue. That was the foundations or the blueprint for it, and it's evident when you play it even now. Even the story and the way that's portrayed cinematically, it's Yakuza was taking a lot of kind of things from that game, and it isn't the best game. Like if you're looking at it in every aspect, it did have a lot of issues. It had a lot of bugs. The movement now is terrible. If you're in a enclosed space, moving around is tough. The camera angle cuts from one end to the other when you turn, and it's very difficult to control. But I think I was just a good place there to play it when I was younger, and it's weird stepping back into it and how I instantly feel the same as when I played it originally. It's very, very weird feeling. But it is a good game. It's something everyone should try.
I think I'm definitely going to pick it up because it is only like here anyway. It's $40. And I know it's
I think it's like 30 quid over here. So.
Yeah, so it's really cheap for two games, and knowing the kind of legacy it has with some people, I can't really refuse to not I can't not play it. I have to give it a shot. Like one of my friends back home, I saw him online and he was earning trophies or whatever from it, and I texted him and I just said, "How's Shenmue? How are you getting on?" He's never played it either, first time round. So it's super interesting to hear what he's saying, and as a newcomer, his verdict was it's really slow, but it has its charm and he is enjoying it.
That's a perfect way to explain.
Do you know what I mean? And
it is.
I kind of feel if a game carries its own kind of charm, I can look past the sound kind of thing or the awkward cameras, because look, it's back in the day. It's one of those games
100%.
You kind of can't have it all like that, and I think considering We have a third one coming out. It's interesting to see where this stands for people, because I really don't know many people who are going to play this. Like, have you seen people on your feed talking about it and stuff? Like,
I haven't, but I did see figures saying it was like a number one bestseller on PS4.
That's unusual.
Like this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, very. Because I haven't seen anybody play it.
And how?
Let's talk about it.
How long is the game? Like, what's the gameplay length?
Oh, it's about 20, a bit less than 20 hours. What, 15 to 20?
For both?
It depends what you do, because the days. Because basically, you could do nothing for like, because it starts off in like something like the 3rd of December, and then you just play through until you finish. But if you kind of piss about and don't necessarily follow the story, you go to the arcades or you go to the clubs or you go fighting or whatever, you can drag it out a bit. It just depends how long you want to take with it. Like, it gets to a point where, like, one of the cool bits I remember was when it was Christmas Day, and I remember it leading up to Christmas Day in the game, and I went into town, and Santa Claus was there, which I just thought was an amazing little addition. Like, you go into the little supermarket, and I came out, and then Santa was there.
Yeah. So I can imagine at the time that was like pretty impressive. Like these. It
was like Metal Gear Kojima levels of randomness that never needed to be in there.
Yeah.
But were. And that's just the first game. Like, the second game is much bigger. It's in a massive city, because the first game is all based around a small village that you live in, like not Camarocho. That's fucking, I don't even remember what it's called. But Camarocho is in Yakuza, isn't it? But your little kind of village area. Then you go into the town where, check out Tom, the hot dog guy. He is the fucking weirdest character in video games. He's black with dreadlocks, but he's like Japanese. It's just.
I really hope he's actually called Tom the hot dog guy in the game, because that is
he is called Tom the hot dog guy.
That is absolutely incredible. Like, I love how straightforward that is.
Oh man, if you Google see a picture of him, you'll look at how
I'm going to do it right now.
He's great,
and I'm having loads of fun typing in Tom the hot dog guy. Because who knows what's going to come up here.
Make sure you've got your filter on.
Well, the first
safe search.
The first thing that came up was a video that's saying "Hot Dog Tom the Shithouse." So.
Oh. Yeah, no, I don't think it's that guy.
I'm not gonna. And there's look. I got a picture of Tom Hardy and his dog. How about that? Oh, I found him. Jesus Christ, he looks weird.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
He looks very strange.
He's one of the best characters. He's weird, and he dances next to his van. Like, he's always dancing to music.
No,
I think we've got a title for the episode now, though, haven't we? Really? I'm the hot dog guy,
Oh yeah, nice one. Yeah, I'll write that down.
I'm just going to say there, though, like, I'm actually happy to hear that it's a 15-20 hour long game, because when you were saying the day and night cycle and stuff, and you go about doing your day-to-day things, instantly I just thought, oh god, this is going to be Persona length. I managed to complete them over like 3 days, and that wasn't shit.
Constantly spent playing on it. This was over Christmas, like Christmas Day in 2001. I barely saw my family. I was literally just
hanging out with Tom.
I was, I had my Christmas I had some hot dogs for Christmas that year.
Nice.
Yeah, man, he was ace. But yeah, the game is great.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely pick it up. Gaz, are you going to try this? I know you're just. I know you have no interest. Do you really hate it?
I've no wish to go through that again.
See, I can't, like, this could be just another Gary opinion here now, and I'm just a bit, I'm unsure, because I can't really see, I haven't played it, so I can't really agree with you yet, I don't know, but in some ways, I hope I really love it, so I can go, guys, for fuck's sake, man, why don't you like it? We'll see, though.
It's just boring, but, yeah.
Hey, not every game is for everyone.
You're entitled to your opinions. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't like it, that's fine. I'm cool with that. Promise.
Such a dad thing to say, isn't it?
I know. I've had to learn. Anyway, moving on. Adam.
Yes.
What have you been playing with?
My oh my, Chris. Wouldn't you like to know?
Another hot dog talk going on.
Jesus. I've been like super busy over the last week, but I've managed to fit in very quickly. I want to just mention the Monster Hunter Generations demo that was released on Switch.
Yes.
This is the second Monster Hunter game I've ever played. Like, World was my first one, and like, obviously, like, when I was playing World, there's always been a thing where people were saying, "Oh, will it be on Switch and stuff?" But it's obviously just too powerful. So we get Generations or whatever. Generations is actually quite good. It is quite good. It has the exact same feeling as you'd expect it to have, I guess. Visually, obviously, it's not as strong, and if I'm honest, it did this one thing that I kept happening to me, and it was really irritating. But you know, when you go into like different environments and it loads, like, I found every time I was like fighting a monster or something, and you know, it's charging at me, and I'll roll out of the way, I always rolled into the next fucking area. And then I get a loading screen, and the monster wasn't actually after coming with me. So I'd have to go back out with another loading screen and then run after him again. And it was just super infuriating. But that was just like a minor gripe. Like, the world is massive. Obviously, I just need to get the hell out of the way of those areas. But it was really fun to like play Monster Hunter again. It gave me a massive itch to scratch and go back to World, because it obviously gives you like the three modes. Like, you can go easy, normal, hard of like a hunt. And I just went in normal just to try it out again and just kind of get back into the swing of it. And it's just so, like, honestly, since I've played World, that feeling of taking down a monster is one of the best. It is one of the best feelings in video games for me personally. It is so rewarding when you just get that final blow in, and it's just, whew, I did it. And it's just, I don't know, it's like defeating, like it's like climbing an impossible mountain or something. It's just such an absolute trophy to get. So whether I'll get the full game or not, I don't know. Simply because the next game I'm going to like put like crazy time into is going to be Diablo when it comes to Switch. That's just because I'm way too addicted to that game anyway. But played that. I started Salt and Sanctuary, which I know, guys, you're a massive fan of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love that game.
I played like the first 45 minutes to an hour, I think, and yeah, I'm definitely in. I am definitely in. The art style is so unique. Like, it's just so different in its style and very challenging. I did not like. I knew the Souls comparison and stuff was in there, but I didn't expect it to actually be that challenging for like a side-scrolling kind of thing. Like, I got
you'll get your ass kicked a lot.
Oh man, I got to the first boss and I was just like dead in like 2 seconds. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But yeah, really into that. Looking forward to playing more. However, it did make me realise something. I don't think I'm really a fan of playing my Switch on the go. I don't know if... I think Salt and Sanctuary has made me realise this, because I feel that one thing with the Switch that I wish it had was a bit more of like a grip on the back that you could kind of put your fingers on to hold. I just feel, considering it's so flat, it's just so unbelievably flat, that like if you're lying in bed or something, I find, look, I'm going to sound like a delicate flower here now, but like my wrists start to strain from the angle of the way I'm holding this Switch, you know. And when you're playing a game such as like Salt and Sanctuary or whatever, when you're kind of like on edge and you're trying to roll out of the way, it just doesn't really, it doesn't make the game enjoyable for me. I have to play it on like the Pro controller. Like, that just has to happen. Right. But that's just only one thing I kind of noticed throughout it. But I played that, and then just because of the buzz around it, I had to go back and play Resi 2. So I just did an entire playthrough of Claire, and I gotta be honest, I really, really, truly hope that like that exact game never gets to a point where it's unplayable. Because when games are just like advancing so fast, like I still think like Resident Evil 2 is like the majority of those games are still very playable. There's like some awkward moments or whatever in the combat, but I just think it's one of the greatest games ever made. And I just, the hype towards like the remake it's so big now for me after going through the game again. But like, there's things in it though when you play it, and some of the dialogue just makes me laugh so much. Like when Claire meets Marvin for the first time, right, and he's lying there in like, he just looks fucked. He looks like he is having a bad day, and he's there and he's like groaning and struggling, and like she's getting all this information. She's just like torturing him with questions about things, and he's just like, oh, I'm trying to tell you, and he groans, and then at one point Claire just goes, are you okay? And you're just like, he's clearly not okay at all. And then even like near the end, and look, come on, if you haven't played Resi 2, spoiler for like 2 seconds, because you need to play the game and tough shit. But near the end, when Claire and Leon are talking to each other, I always love when survival horror games, when they end, they wrap up very quickly. It's like boom, 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 credits. And you're like you beat the boss, and it's like credit, like talking, a bit of dialogue, and then credits. And if you remember, right, Leon stands up and he has this like really elegant, oh, we are superheroes, kind of pose. And the camera kind of swoops around him, and he just says, it's over. And then Claire just goes, no, I have to find my brother. And then Leon responds with, you're right, this is just the beginning. He's like easily like, yeah, you are right. He was full blown within 2 seconds going, it's over. And then 2 seconds later, it's not actually, it's just the beginning. You're right. It's so unbelievably charming, that kind of voice acting and that kind of dialogue. And I don't think we'll ever see it again. And it's kind of a shame because, well, we might see it again. And I think if ever a game comes out with that kind of acting, going back to what I just said, actually mentioning Deadly Premonition, that's probably the most recent game to come out with such kind of like campy kind of dialogue and like the voice acting. I just think it's brilliant. I think it's really, really good, that kind of thing. It just adds so much nostalgia. And if a game comes out down the line with that kind of delivery, I'm going to be completely sold. But obviously, the remake isn't going to be that way. And there's been certain gameplay released that we'll get to eventually in the news. But that's all I've been doing this week anyway. And I've thoroughly enjoyed Resident Evil 2. And I'm actually going to go back and do Leon's one now. God, that game is just superb. 10 out of 10.
No, this is amazing. Well, I'm gonna leave Yakuza for now. I want to talk to Gary about Dead Souls, because you've been playing that, haven't you, mate?
I have, yeah. Thanks to Chris Hyde, who's obviously like, he's written for the site and stuff. He actually bought me the game on Switch.
That man's a hero.
Yeah,
he's a hero.
It was a super nice thing. But yeah, I've been playing a bit of that, and to quote Nicola, it's bastard hard. I've died so many times, and it took me several attempts. I think it was 7 or 8 by the time I reached the first boss.
Jesus.
To be fair, I didn't do too badly. I got him down to about a third health, and then he just battered me. But I'm starting to see why people love it. I'm not sure about... I get it's like the roguelike thing where it's you start at the beginning every time, but like from what people have said, it's like you fight the bosses each time as well. And I'm just like, I don't want to fight the same bosses again and again because I've died at like the next area or something like that. But I'll just have to make my peace with that and get on with it. But no, I'm enjoying it though. I'm enjoying it. And
like how did you feel about it from the moment it started? Because when I started it and then I died, I think I said this when I was speaking about it, I'm not a fan of like die repeat. I'm just not into it. But there was something with Dead Cells that just it just became really addictive. Like the amount of times I've just like went, I'll just play a quick game. Like it's never going to be a quick game, but it does that great thing of like making you go, I'll have one little run through and see how far I get. Like how did you feel?
I mean, I think it does do that well in that, although it's not a short game kind of thing, and sometimes your runs can go on for a while, it's still pacey. So you don't feel like you're taking ages. You feel like a quick run is actually a quick run, even though it's like 20 minutes, half an hour or something, or more. But yeah, I was surprised there's like a fair bit of humour in it. Like the characters you meet and the way, like you kind of
keeps putting his thumb up reacts. And stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's like when found like a dead body at one point, and it's like you can examine it. So I was like, okay, and it's just kind of like, oh, it's a dead body. Oh, it's a shame kind of thing. And then he just fucking kicks it, and shit falls out. You know, like here's a new weapon, and it's like, oh, cool. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, just little things like that. I quite enjoy that humor. But yeah, I mean, the gameplay is so addictive, and
oh man, yeah, definitely.
I think I said this on Twitter. Like, I like the fact that it's got no stamina bar, which most of these games these days do. Yeah, but it is just a case of you can wail on anything. But it's a case of you're going to have to avoid attacks or avoid swarms of enemies and stuff like that at times.
Mm-hmm. What's your loadout of choice? Like obviously you can't pick it from the beginning, but do you know over when you play through it, is there any particular like weapon or kind of power that you enjoy the most?
Twin daggers.
They're really good.
They're very quick, so it allows me to like get a few attacks in, dodge out the way of, and that kind of thing. And
I'm a big fan of freezing. Enemies. I think that's a great help. Like
I did use that initially when I hit the boss for the first time, which it did do quite well. It was only then after Mick suggested that I should use the traps instead, and it's like use trap and a turret, and the boss barely gets near you.
Yeah, the turrets are amazing. I just find myself really like bad with the traps. I always think like in the middle of a hectic like area, do you know, like it kind of gets a bit like, oh shit, I just pressed that by mistake, and a trap takes off and you don't notice that an enemy has caught in it, and then all of a sudden you've wasted it. You're like shit. But like the turrets are super super good.
I don't like the elite enemies.
No, they're not fun.
At first, I didn't think they were super bad because I found one on my first run and beat it. Mm-hmm. I mean, not easily or anything like that. It was a tough fight, but I was like, okay, cool. And then the next one that I found just decimated me.
Well, it's definitely that thing where when you're fighting them and then you get their life halfway down, when they start doing that teleporting thing, that's when it's just like, oh shit, you're just in massive trouble then.
Yeah, especially when it's like, you know what, I can't win this fight, I'm going to have to get away, and you can't. You just can't. You could go to the other side of the map and they'll still fucking teleport and hit you. You don't stand a chance.
Yeah. Do you find yourself playing it at a more kind of chilled pace, or would you kind of... Because I feel like after a couple of rounds of dying, I think like the first probably 10-15 minutes of getting up to the boss and stuff again, or the first boss, I feel like you're an absolute superhero because you're just like slamming down on top of enemies and you're just being amazing at the game all of a sudden. But I think speed works best for me, even though I think they say something in the messages in the loading screen where it's like patience is a reward or something along that lines, where they almost tell you if you take your time you will get far, and I'm just like, no, I'm going Speedy Gonzalez. I'm going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing to say in a game where you've got timed doors as well.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I mean, initially I thought those timed doors were like from the start of that area, but it's like, no, it's from the start of the game.
Yeah.
So, because I got to one, it's like it closed like 4 minutes ago. I was like, I've only just fucking got here. Mm-hmm. But it's worth it when you do get to them though, because you get some big rewards.
Yeah. I think we'll get some amazing speedruns out of this game. I was saying that before. Like, I think there's going to be people who will read every single area, know where every single enemy is. Like, do you know those areas as well that, like, it has this, like, weird kind of, like, scarecrow thing that's, like, giving off this, like, defense shield for every enemy? Those areas are kind of, like, they're pretty crazy. There's a lot of, like, hard enemies and stuff. I think speedrunners will have all those down, and it's going to be so amazing to watch them do it. Is there any, like, enemy aside from the elite that, like, drives you insane? Because there's some very like, I'm not a fan personally of the it's like a kind of a slug thing, like a slug piranha thing, and when you kill it, it just like lashes out these like eggs, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Because the first time that happened, I was like, oh, I thought it was like, oh, here's like new rewards. It's like, oh, cool, and then it's like, boom. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Have you played this, Chris? Yeah.
Very briefly, mate. When I first got it, first got code, I spent a good 5 or 6 hours with it, but I've barely played it since. So
yeah, do you think you'll go back eventually, or
I will go back. Just we've been quite busy with Yakuza, Shenmue,
of
Fire
course.
Pro. So definitely,
I think it's going to be.
So
I think it's a game, like, if you give time to it, I can definitely see you. To be honest, I can't see anyone on God is a Geek not really liking this game. I think it's an all rounder for the whole team. It's I play it every day. I actually do play at least a round of that game every day. It's just so addictive.
Do you play it on the Switch?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I play on the Switch.
See, I think this would be good to play on the Switch for you, like, because you don't have to dedicate a lot of time to it. Like, if you die, it's back to the beginning, isn't it? So you don't
exactly.
You can just. I would rather have this kind of game on the Switch because it'd be easy for me to take with me.
But the thing is, I actually don't play it like on the go. I just don't. It's just one. I need that the Pro controller to me for the Switch is amazing. It feels great. It feels like you're really in control. And for a game like Dead Cells, I need that because I've done it a few times on the go, and I've died way earlier in areas where it's just because of like how I feel playing it. So I would recommend, like, if you are playing on the go, play it with your Pro controller as well. Like, that's the best thing.
Yeah, cool. Right, Yakuza Kiwami 2 has come out, and I feel like we talk about Yakuza on every podcast, so I'm not going to talk for ages on it. But it is a big new release if you're a fan of the series. It's a remake of Yakuza 2 back on the PS3. Continuing Kiryu Kazama. What's his name?
Jesus, I'm not even going to try that.
Kiryu, as you Kazama, I think. As you follow him from his last outing with the Tojo clan, as he was one of the fourth chairman. He is now not a member of the Yakuza. Someone else is, and if you've played later ones, or you've played, like, especially Yakuza 6, you're going to know a lot about the current chairman, who becomes that kind of takes the mantle of the Yakuza in this game. And it's a great story, very, very much in the same kind of vein as the previous ones, like a lot of twists and turns, very dark kind of Yakuza mafia story, but then it's got the same fucking batshit weirdness to it, which I don't think you could not have in one of these games. But in terms of like how it looks a lot better than Yakuza Kiwami, the first one. They've used the Dragon engine, it's called, which is from Yakuza 6. So it's very smooth. Like, one of the things in all the Yakuza games is when you go into a shop, there's a little load screen, and then you're in the shop. Whereas now you just walk in, walk around, come out. It's the same with the clubs, the cabaret clubs, the restaurants, the arcades, everything like that. So it's a lot smoother, and the combat does more with weapons this time around. You can kind of pick up a weapon, store it, and kind of use it at any point by pressing one of the D-pad directions. So there are a lot of kind of new things to it. It does still feel like Yakuza Kiwami. It's still got the same kind of backbone to it, which is great because you don't want a lot of changes. You want little things to kind of keep you occupied, but on the whole, it's another great story. So if you are a fan of Yakuza and you've not played Kiwami, it also gives you a kind of big cutscene at the start where you can watch like a replay of all the big moments from the first game. If you have, if you've only just finished it, you can skip all of them as well. It's very kind of welcoming to new players. You don't necessarily have to have played the first one. You can just kind of crack on with this. But yeah, that's Yakuza Kiwami 2. I think you should all go read the review just to see exactly why I liked it. And hopefully I might get Kiryu's name right. Next up, this is what I've been waiting to talk about, especially with Adam, because I know you love wrestling as well. Fire Pro Wrestling World is it's a new game on consoles from Spike Chunsoft, the guys behind Danganronpa. It's been out for a while on PC. It was in early access and then it was released. Don't know if it was the tail end of last year or the beginning of this year, but it's kind of like a 16-bit wrestling game. And the good thing about this release is that it's got pretty much the entire New Japan roster on it. So, if you follow NJPW, it's perfect. It's got everyone on it. It's got like Naito, Tanahashi. It's got Hiromu Takahashi and Kenny Omega. It's got like Tamatonga. All these names probably sound foreign to Gary. I'm sorry, mate. But if you do watch it, you'll know. And like the genius of it is you'll know with wrestling matches when you watch them is the build up. You don't just come out, very rarely does someone come out and just drop a finisher after finisher after finisher. And it only allows you to do kind of like the smaller moves in this, like your snapmares or just your body slams or, suplexes, that kind of thing. And then when you kind of wear down your enemy a bit, you get to use kind of like the middle kind of power moves. So they're a bit kind of more in depth, bit more fancy, like brain busters and like power bombs. And then
brain busters, I love it.
Brain busters, yeah. And then you get to the kind of when you've been fighting, because obviously in New Japan a lot of the matches have half an hour time limits. So when you're in like your 20 minutes, you can really kind of bring out the big guns. Like you've got all the kind of signature moves and finishes they've all got, which is brilliant. You've got the kind of the kind of high flying moves as well. You can dive outside off the turnbuckle, and it's a very kind of fluid game, and it's so much fun to play. It's very easy to play, and there's no health bars, there's no power up special build. You build up your power. Once you've got it, you can hit the finisher move. It just works really well. It's very simple, but it's excellent. And like the good thing about the game, which I'm purposely holding off on my review because the online isn't there, and also one of the main points of kind of Fire Pro on the PC is the creator wrestlers and the workshops that like they all people from around the world have put loads of wrestlers created onto this big database that you can download to your PC, and people have literally created the whole WWE roster. They look exactly the same as the real life counterparts. They've done the same for Ring of Honor, Impact. I don't know. I've not seen anyone done Progress yet, but if they haven't, that's my angle.
Yeah.
Because like just guys like Will Ospreay and Jimmy Havoc and all that would be awesome to play. But it's just amazing. And when that comes to, because I think it's release day, they're releasing the because basically how you do it on PS4 is you go onto this website. I think it's firepro-w.com, and anyone that's creating wrestlers now will upload them, and a lot of them are Japanese because it's been out in Japan for a while. And I downloaded Marty Skrull, and it was his kind of New Japan stuff, and his name was in Japanese, but some of his finishes were in English, so you kind of know it was him, and he looks like him. And then Vader as well, he was one of the characters I downloaded, and there's just a lot of kind of famous Japanese fighters that aren't in New Japan that are kind of from, Stan Hansen back in the day. But there's just so much room to create wrestlers and to just there's like tournaments, there's leagues, there's just standard matches you can do. I mean, I don't know if you saw the video, but I did a 4-on-4. And it was just insane, like absolutely nuts. And it just never ended. And then for some reason I got counted out, which I didn't pay attention to the time because I was getting battered at ringside. But like it was so intense and so much fun. Like I could play this, all just over and over again.
It kind of reminded me like when I've watched like the footage of it, and it does. Yeah. It kind of looks somewhere between the stuff like, is it WWF Raw or WrestleMania? It might have been on the Mega Drive, that kind of era, mixed with like SmackDown from the PS1. Yeah. It's like mix the two together, and you've got like this 2D fucking madhouse. And it does look like if I was going to play a wrestling game now, it'd be that. I've got no interest in like the 2K games and stuff like that anymore.
Well, see, that's funny to say that, guys, because like even as like a wrestling fan, I'm not even interested in the 2K games because I bought them like I think the last 2 years are the only times I haven't bought the 2K series ones because it's really fucking boring. That's my thing. It's just for a wrestling game, it should not be boring. I want it to be over the top. It doesn't have like this. Like wrestling is fake, and it's supposed to be over the top. And when you're trying to make it real, it just doesn't work for me. I'm not into it, and I think they need to cut away from that because things like this game now, like Fire Pro and stuff, and even going back to the PS1 SmackDown, like they're just really fast, frantic, fun beat 'em up games, and that to me is all you need in wrestling. Like that, and it's cool to hear that this kind of game, because a lot of people are really liking this. Even people who don't play or people that aren't into wrestling are saying it's very fun to play. That's what it's about. I'm super excited to play this, but I don't think it's out in Europe until like next month
or September 28th.
Yeah. So, and I think
it's USA 3 days time. Oh, wow, 28th today.
Is it? No, today's. Oh yeah, today. Oh shit, yeah.
Oh, today is in the magical Wednesday, the 28th. But it's amazing, and as I say, I'm thinking I don't know how long it'd take to create God is a Geek team as wrestlers and do some kind of tournament.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be so awesome. Much fun.
And it welcomes female wrestlers as well, because you can create female wrestlers in it. So that's good. So we can have Nick.
Nick could just take us all down, though, wouldn't she?
Nick
could easily just beast every single one of us.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get in a ring with Nick, no. But yeah, Fire Pro Wrestling's fucking top notch, and I suggest you all go and play it when it comes out. So news, there's quite a bit to get through, to be fair. First off, new Overwatch map and an animated short focusing on D.Va.
So it was presented. Short.
It is. It is. It was presented at the Korean Overwatch Fan Festival. Jeff Kaplan announced a brand new control map, and named Busan after its Korean setting. Now, the actual short is. Have you watched it as well, Adam?
No, I haven't watched it.
Cool. It's not very long. In fact, it is quite short. So I suggest you give it a watch. It's called Shooting Star. It focuses on D.Va and her best friend. And in fact, if you go onto the God is Geek website, it's on there. Just search Overwatch map D.Va and you'll be able to find it. Reigns, Game of Thrones coming in October. Anyone seen this at all?
I don't know what this actually is. Is this like a card game?
Sort of. It's really weird. It's kind of like you're the ruler of a kingdom, and you'll get essentially like different scenarios, and you choose basically a card which is an outcome for that scenario, and you just try and last as long as you can, and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it's kind of Game of Thrones. I think would be really suited to it. Maybe not the humour, but
it's quite fun because it's saying there's like different scenarios that don't happen in the TV program that could happen through this. So I'll just read you some of the blurb. So Reigns Game of Thrones extends beyond the HBO series and explores possible futures for key characters as seen through the fiery visions of the Red Priestess, Melisandre. Players could choose to rule as Cersei Lannister, Jon Snow, Daenerys Targaryen, Tyrion Lannister, Sansa Stark and more, while changing between each king and queen to face challenges and mysteries unique to their story. Melisandre's flames have proven hard to decipher and less than reliable, so players may encounter stories they do not expect. Peer into the flames and you may see Cersei Lannister rebuild the Great Sept of Baelor, or discover what could happen to the Seven Kingdoms if Sansa Stark married Jaime Lannister. So it's kind of just, it's kind of mixing up Game of Thrones. The kind of art style reminds me of, well, it is Reigns, isn't it, by Devolver?
Yeah.
Because it's based on that, yeah. Fucking idiot. It is, isn't it? It's based. I was like, oh my god, this looks like Reigns. And then I saw the title. I was like, oh, fuck. Arse. Excellent. Yeah, there you go. Reigns, brand new Game of Thrones, coming out in October for $3.99, I believe.
Boom.
So, Assassin's Creed fans, I'm afraid there's not a new game coming out until 2019. Brilliant, if you're asking me. I think, which you're not, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I think it's a great idea not releasing a new Game of Thrones next year. I think some people are still not playing Origins, as to give them time to play that. True. And also with Odyssey coming out, there's a whole of that to play, and there's going to be DLC. I think that's what did the Assassin's Creed franchise a lot of good, was when they took that year out.
Oh, big time.
And they released Origins, and it was certainly the best looking, and certainly one of the better games in the series. So, I'm happy if they're doing this.
Yeah, me too. There's enough content in like the last game, and probably going to be Odyssey as well. There's just so much that it'll last you all the year. Like there is no need, and I think it's a good idea because they're honestly, they're so far into the series, and you're kind of wondering really what is left. So I think for them to say the year out means, okay, we're going to try something new again, maybe. And I don't really need anything new. I think I just need it to be like tighter in its storytelling. I think that's really all I'm kind of looking for. More kind of emotion, maybe. That's really it. I think the combat is pretty cool. You can maybe just tweak that a small bit, but I'm perfectly fine with that. Yeah,
that's cool. March is looking like a very good month next year. 2 games have been announced for release there. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice is out in March, as is Devil May Cry 5. I don't think any of us expected them any earlier. Possibly maybe later, but I mean, is anyone actually interested in these? Because
Devil May Cry I am, but it's kind of tentatively, because I'm still sore that DMC2 isn't a thing.
Yeah.
That they basically completely fucking they overlooked that. They just went, no, let's just make Devil May Cry 5. And, it's just like, why?
Yeah, no, I agree.
The gameplay that they've shown of this does look very DMC, at least. So, I'm not going to write it off or anything like that. I think it'll be good. I just,
Yeah.
I think we all, well, anyone with taste will want DMC2 instead of Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah. Which is why I'd be more interested in Sekiro at this stage. Because it's...
Yeah, I was very surprised at that March. I thought that was going to be end of next year at the earliest. From games don't tend to come that quickly. But I'm guessing they were very far in development when it was announced.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's the right time. I think there's a lot coming out, and maybe they're just being safe and want to make it they probably maybe want to make this their game, the one. The absolute one of these kind of games. So it looks so good. I think it looks really good. It looks like that kind of game, but it just seems very smooth, and I'm really all about that kind of whole samurai style. I think it's just amazing.
I'm just quite surprised Gary used the phrase "From Software don't used to come too quickly and no one batted an eye."
Okay.
But there you go. PUBG hits 1.0 in September. So it's going to be out of game preview on September the 4th. There was also a PUBG themed wireless controller released in October. and the updated experience will come to Xbox with the Sanhok map, War Mode. What's War Mode?
I think War Mode's the thing that's on PC, where it's kind of like the like timed events. I think. If I remember right. So it's like they went a bit Fortnite with it on PC, and
yes,
I think it's working. So they're bringing it to Xbox as well.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, if people are still playing that, it'll be out of game preview on September the 4th. FIFA 19, there's going to be 3 playable characters in the journey this year. Anyone care?
I mean, I think it's good that one of them is a woman for the first time.
Yeah.
It's
Kim.
Alex Hunter's half-sister, which I'm surprised more people haven't made anything of this, but I don't know, maybe it was just kind of glossed over, because I don't really... Like, even though it was reported, I mean, we reported it, and obviously it's come out of Gamescom, it's almost like it's just been kind of thrown into the ether. You know, like, no one seemed to talk about it. Which is
true.
Considering it's FIFA, you would have thought it's the sort of thing
I think so. I also think it's good that it's just also been acknowledged and no one's moaning about it as well.
Yeah, true.
Because we should be at a point where it's just why not?
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that I haven't seen anyone moaning about it, especially not like the Battlefield stuff. It can also be seen as a positive in that way. But yeah, I completely get what you're saying. Like it is a big deal for FIFA. You know, they did introduce women's football a couple of years ago, and that was received well. So getting to play as Kim Hunter is cool. But the story itself, whether you played any of the original stuff, it was quite good. But there's 3 characters. So there's Kim, who we've mentioned. There's Alex Hunter, who is a guy from the original, and Danny Williams, who Alex met in the National Football Academy. So you'll all get to play as one of those when the game arrives on September the 28th. Now, guys, here's what we wanted to talk about. Claire Redfield was shown in the Resident Evil 2 gameplay at Gamescom. Who wants to splurge first?
Whew. Gez, do you want to go first?
After you.
After me. Okay.
It sounds like you're on the way anyway.
Whew, Jesus, I'm on the way. I am so wanting this game. Like, I really am not. This particular footage, it looks so goddamn smooth. Like, the game looks so smooth, and I think the whole scene is kind of setting up where she's meeting like Sherry for the first time or whatever.
Yeah.
And the scene it's quite similar. And I read this afterwards then, which was quite interesting, that I think it was Eurogamer posted a piece saying that they've taken influence from Aliens regarding Newt in that game. So her whole approach, they've taken the character of Newt and kind of designed Sherry that way this time around for the remake. It just looks great, and it looks like it carries like a ton of emotion again. Like this time in the footage, you get to see Chief Irons and stuff come out, and like he's looking intense, he's looking pissed off. And for anybody who knows the actual the original game and stuff, and how his character is, he's just gone mad. Like he's gone absolutely crazy in Resident Evil 2. So you can see that in this, and it looks super intense. And there's a kind of a bit of one of those classic boss fights where, you know, you're running around in a circle, you're turning, you're shooting, running around, shoot. And you're just wondering, how many more goddamn bullets does this thing need? It looks so good, and I think right now we don't need any more footage. That is it now for me. I think I just got to see both sides now, and I've seen enough, and I'm so ready for the game, and we don't need any more. Just give it to me. However, I don't think I can actually buy the collector's edition. I'm just I'll be buying it digitally, I think. Really?
I don't need. I'm not a collector anymore. Like of these things. I've still got like my original copies of the old games and stuff like that, but I'm not that fussed anymore. As you know, I want to play them, but I'm not bothered about having the physical collection or anything like that now.
Well, yeah.
But this game, I just need it. I've said before, and I know people don't like it, but I'm just like, I could happily bypass Red Dead 2 and just go straight to Resident Evil 2. I don't need anything else. I'll play them, but I'll always be thinking of Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, and like I gotta say, like, I kind of in some ways agree. And now I just know that, like, Adam is probably listening to this and he's just going, oh, for fuck's sake, I give up on this team, I'm leaving.
It's alright, he agreed with me a few times last week, so he can't say anything anymore.
Okay.
People are starting to come round to my way of thinking.
Yeah, I just... well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves here, Gary, okay? You know?
Yeah, man.
Let's just calm down a small bit. But anyway...
Too cocky if you're in good, mate. So next up... Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
mate.
no. I was just... Jesus, where was I going with it? Oh, yeah. I was just about to say that with the footage as well, I just really think that they're like... There's a lot of moments that I don't kind of... I can't really see it as being kind of like, it's a lot of new stuff basically is what I'm trying to say. There seems to be a lot of new things going on in here, and I just wonder how much of the original game is really going to be put in there, like percentage wise, like, and how much new stuff is in, because just from watching that, like, it's a 4-minute video is what I watched anyway, and I just think everything is like so different in the characters kind of delivery and stuff like that. So
they've had to update it though, haven't they? Because I mean, if they tried anything of like the atmosphere and stuff of the original game, it just wouldn't work now. Especially not looking like it does, you know. And I mean that Resident Evil engine is ridiculous.
It is.
Just seeing the screens of like good old Billy Birkin in his first sort of major form. It's just like that. The engine's built for that. It looks so good.
And like I think as well, like the whole story regarding just Sherry alone is pretty. It's traumatizing. It's like one of the biggest nightmares ever for probably a young girl to ever happen. And I wonder like how the emotion will be carried within this one. And do you like here's a bold question. This is bold right here. Do you think, if you had to say yes or no, do you think that this game will outdo the original? Do you think we'll be saying that's the definitive?
Yes.
Do you definitely? Yeah. You think it's going to happen?
Well, I mean, I gave 7 a 10. I thought that was kind of it's approaching the pinnacle of the series, and I love think 7, yeah. That they're kind of in the zone on these games after that, and I think if they apply even a tiny amount of quality that comes from 7 to this, it's just going to be amazing.
What's really
I just want to know if the giant alligator is going to be in there.
Holy shit!
Oh,
yeah,
it's got to.
I'm not going to lie. Going back to just quickly saying, when I played the original this week, that goddamn thing gets me every time. It's so ginormous.
You just forget about it, don't you?
You just totally... And it's just, it comes out of nowhere and it's so massive, and I'm just like, holy smokes. I need to leave. But yeah, I'm so goddamn excited for this remake. Like, oh.
I think Chris is going to be excited about the next story.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna level with you.
Oh.
I don't know how to feel about Shenmue 3. So the release date's been announced, August the 27th next year. Ever since it was announced, I've been concerned about the way it's been treated, not just with a Kickstarter, but just with very little to go on for years. And then they released that awful trailer. I don't know if it was earlier this year, and I get the game's still in development, but it just doesn't feel right. Something about it doesn't feel right, and I've just got a feeling it's going to come out and it's going to be horrendous. I think a sequel would have been perfect a few years after 2. I don't think leaving it this long, there should be a sequel. And if no one was going to pick it up, no developer was going to pick it up properly, or Sony was just going to go, right, we'll just completely fund it. We'll make it with your help, Yu Suzuki, and we'll release one that deserves to be made, that will better the original two, because we've got the money and we've got the talent. We can do this. The fact that they only needed a small amount of money to make, get it started and get it made is ridiculous, because the original cost like 100 million when it came out. So something about it isn't right. And the different, what are they called on like Kickstarter programs? There's like different levels
like
or
tiers kind of thing.
Tiers, yes, perfect. And the stuff they were announcing was just ridiculous. Like, when we get to this tier, you'll be able to see authentic plants in the garden, or you'll be able to see a nice like threaded suit on Mr. Whatever, and it was like really insignificant shit. Like, I don't want to pay for a bloody plant to look good. I want a decent story, and I want it to feel like the original, and I don't think it will. And like, now I've got the re-release, I'm pretty content, but I'd rather, in hindsight, just have the memories. I think the only reason these have come out is because of 3. It's an idea to get more people into it, so that when it does come out, people will play it without thinking, "Oh, I've never played the other 2. Is it worth it?"
Funding for 3 might come from these, though, like sales of the 1 and 2 collection. Maybe.
Yeah, quite possibly. I thought you were going to say from Sony, but yeah, no, I think it must do. Like, they must use some of the money for it. I honestly thought Sony were going to pay the rest when they kind of came on board, but that's not what they've said. They've kind of said, we're going to help you to release it and stuff.
It was an odd announcement when it was at E3, wasn't it? The other year, was it last year? 2000.
With Sony.
Yeah, and it was just like, we're it's here. Like, but there wasn't anything like, we're putting the money towards it. It was just like, no, it's we're making it. And stuff. And I just feel it's doomed to fail.
Well,
I think it'll be.
I hope that isn't the case, because like if their plan is kind of like, oh, let's release 1 and 2 and see if we can bring in more people, I think that's immediately a bad plan, because I just, by the sounds of it, this game is Marmite. The series in general is Marmite for people. I just really hope for people like yourself, Chris, that like hold the game up to such high regard. I really hope 3 comes out and it actually is genuinely good, because when a game is when you're so passionate about a certain series or a game, it really sucks when a title in the franchise is absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
And
I agree, man.
I hope they don't think about making this game for all-rounders, like, because this game should not be designed for people like me or Gary or whoever. It should be like people like yourself who hold that game up there, so I hope it isn't going to be rubbish. But like, to be fair, from what I've seen myself, it looks dodgy so far. Like, it looks like it's a bit of a messy situation going on, and if they are banking off of like sales from this re-release or whatever of 1 and 2, like, really, like, how many people are going to really go for it? Maybe, I don't know. I hope so. I hope it's just going to be good, man.
I hope for Chris's sake that there's no bad blood if it's bad.
Oh, good man.
Now, the reason I'm clapping is because Gary has just formed a marvellous segue between this and the next news story. And this is awesome. I wish it was on console, but it isn't. There's new Dying Light, and it's called Bad Blood. Bad Blood. It's a battle royale game coming to Steam Early Access in September. So, if you've ever played Dying Light, which I know you both have, you'll know there's zombies in it, and it's a fantastic zombie game. But the battle royale is going to feature 12 real people in a setting with zombies as well. So not only are you trying to kill the enemy, you've got zombies, hopefully in the same kind of waves as they were in Dying Light, trying to kill you. So we're going to see what this is like. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty stoked for this.
Yeah, I just think this game and its content delivery has been absolutely incredible. And I think
absolutely, yeah.
this whole Battle Royale thing, yeah, we may be a bit kind of like burnt out by those words already. But I just think in something like Dying Light, it's going to be so much fun. And I just absolutely adore this game so much.
I think it's a really smart, like, Battle Royales, they are, just like you say, they are being released here and there, but the name's attached to it, but it is very different from everything else. It's very different from Fortnite, PUBG, H1Z1. It's quite an intimate kind of battle royale, it seems, and it's going to give a really kind of realistic game, I think, if it goes the same way as like programs like The Walking Dead, where you're up against real people and you're up against zombies. And I just think if they nail it, which I think they will, because that game is incredible, yeah, it could be something special. I mean, Gary...
I would assume that if it does well, it'll come to consoles as well.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like the sort of thing that needs to be on a console. You know, Dying Light's massive on like PS4 and Xbox One. Bigger than I think people realise. I remember when it came out, it was very popular at the time, and just release. I mean, I must admit, I was a bit surprised when they announced this as a new game, and I thought it was like, oh, it's just going to be a mode for the next Dying Light. You know, since it's not long since they announced that, I was like, no, it's a completely separate game, and be interesting to see how it does. And I do hope for you guys' sake that it comes to console as well, because you'll be very happy with it.
Yeah, but I'm kind of pleased with them just doing this right now, because it just goes to show you that they're pretty much on it, because they're obviously going to test the waters here, and if they see that it works well and people are into it, they will definitely go to console, because that idea for Dying Light, as you said, Chris, like, it's going to be so intense, because if you knock that game up to like hard, even if you play it on medium, to be honest, at night time, it is so scary, and it's so like you have to be on it, and you have to run, and you have to go quick, and that kind of intensity with a battle royale, it sounds like it sounds way more interesting to me than any of the other battle royale things that I've heard about, you know, if I'm honest. It's more for me personally.
Be interested to see if it has like any team-based stuff in it.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Duos, at least, or something like that, where you're teaming up against each other. That would be quite cool, and it's got the potential for, you know, you might be coming up on another player, but you might see that there's other zombies around them, and you just kind of wait it out.
Yeah,
you know, see if they get overwhelmed and jump in.
Yeah, are you guys excited for the sequel?
Oh yeah.
I'm not that bothered, because I wasn't a massive fan of the first one, but it's one that I'll keep my eye on still.
Yeah.
Because I always liked the idea of it. I just didn't really enjoy the gameplay that much. But
really,
I don't know why, because I enjoyed Dead Island, and it was kind of a evolution of that. But for whatever reason, I didn't really. I think part of my issue is human enemies. I was the same, like, in Dead Island when you introduced them. It was just like, I just want to fight zombies. You know, I kind of get bored of the whole, you know, I don't know, commentary on real life and humanity. It's like, fuck that, I just want to kill zombies.
Yeah, true. Evil Gaz.
So yeah, there you go. Just want to kill zombies. Listener correspondence time. So thank you all who sent in questions via Twitter or anywhere else. We do on like Discord and stuff. First question from David Ayres: best villain or most iconic villains? So I'm assuming that means anywhere, not just video games. So I'm going to say anything. Best villain of anything. I'm going to say Hitler.
Whoa. I was honestly,
wasn't expecting that one.
I guess so. If we're going that route, are we just going to say Trump?
We'll say fictional characters. So fictional characters.
You're just going to say Hitler again, aren't you? Because he was in like Wolfenstein.
Yeah, Hitler, Wolfenstein. He was alright. Yeah. No, I'm going to be obvious here. Really obvious, but the Joker is surely one of the most iconic because
Yeah.
the amount of different forms he's taken over the years. There's been some incredible kind of incarnations of him through the comics, through the films.
Death in the Family one is just amazing.
Yeah, Death in the Family is insane.
So good.
You know, and then the obvious ones like in Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on a Serious Earth, where there's not lots of dialogue in it. He is just sadistic. And then you've got the killing jokes, stuff like that. He's just great. So that's going to be one for me. Guys?
I just got like four rapid ones.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to put out, like, the Joker's an amazing call. I didn't even think of that, considering I have him tattooed on me and everything. I just did not think of the Joker. And I was sitting down going, oh yeah, villains, who's there now? I'm going to throw out, this isn't really like, I think most iconic villains, for me personally, when I first saw The Wild Hunt, like, come in The Witcher and stuff, I kind of lost my mind. I was just like, they look so scary, and it really got to me, and I was like, I'm so up for this. They're not like groundbreaking within the game, but I just love how they look. They look like they're just super bad. I'm going to have to say Vass from Far Cry 3. I think for the duration that he's in it, it's incredible, and I feel the Far Cry series needs to get something like that from start to finish, and I think they kind of toy with it every now and then, but they just kind of make a bit of a hames of it near the end of most of their games. But anyway, I'm going to say Nemesis. I think just whenever he appeared, Jesus Christ, like, I just wanted to just cry because he was so scary back when you first played that game. And I'm going to say, it has to be said really, Amanda Ripley calls him the creature throughout isolation, but that alien is just outstanding. He is everywhere, all the time, on your case, and he is, to me, a very iconic villain in general throughout the movie franchise and just that game. So that's what I have so far.
Yeah, fucking terrifying. I've still not finished it.
You've still not finished it?
I can't,
it never
mate.
fucking ends.
I'm sorry,
No, I can't. I physically
Just keeps
can't.
going.
I can't finish it because I don't get, like, I played loads of horror games. I can't play it. I just can't. My anxiety's too bad when playing it. I'm like, fucking, I hate it. I love it, but I hate it.
Look.
It's one of the best games I've ever played. No, but it's not because I think it's shit. I think it's absolutely incredible.
Then, like,
I just can't.
Buy a packet of fucking Pampers and get over it. Lash them on, get playing. I'm telling you.
They do adult Pampers though, because I suppose they do, because incontinence in seniors and.
Listen,
look.
It doesn't matter. Just sellotape them everywhere on your body. You're fine.
I'll take some baby wipes to me and play it.
That whole. You need to finish that game because the last couple of hours.
I'm probably about 3/4 through. Like, I'll tell you what, we'll try and sort of stream out something, and then I'll have to play it. I'll have to finish it.
A stream of isolation it would be so good because, like, that game is very long. It is long. It's about, like, I think 24 hours it took me to finish, which is quite
shit.
Which is for the way the game is, you think it's
than it should have been.
Hey,
the game just wouldn't end.
Hey,
it's worse than the end of Return of the King.
We've been going so far now, and we've been getting on just fine. Let's not get mean. Okay? Look, Alien Isolation right now, I think it's like £5 on the PSN store. I say this every time that game is on sale. People need to buy it. That's all I'm going to say. Gary, I really like you, but just shh. Okay?
Right, who are yours, Gaz?
Terminator. The first film, that Arnie Terminator just wouldn't stop. That was so well done.
Yeah.
I suppose Darth Vader. You've got to have Darth Vader in there somewhere, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like lesser known ones, but they're all they're all known.
Jason Voorhees. He's one of mine.
See, if I was going to go with any horror film, it'd be Leatherface from the original. Because I just remember watching that for the first time, and there was no effects. There was nothing to kind of make it any more than this big fucking bloke throwing around a chainsaw. And then, like, when he first gets that guy and just the sound it makes when he hits him in the head.
Are you on about like the mallet to the head and then closing the door?
Yeah. When I first saw that was it. That's genuinely terrifying. And that guy is a fucking nutter. So I'd say Leatherface would be one of them.
Probably have Pennywise as well.
Oh yeah. No, we're getting into the good stuff now.
Yeah, I mean, like Tim Curry's Pennywise is just amazing.
Yeah,
I was quite impressed with the new one, and it was a lot better than I was expecting. But there's something about that original series, like mini series, that was just stunning, and Tim Curry was just terrifying.
Yeah. I'm actually getting the chance to like meet Tim Curry next May at like at like this Texas Frightmare weekend. It's like this like massive horror convention. So like I'm gonna be. Are you
cosplaying?
Oh, dude! Like I've absolutely contemplated. Like I'm going with my.
You should dress up as Tim Curry in Red Alert. Command and Conquer.
I was gonna say Tim Curry in Hot Shots.
I'm going to just go as Tim Curry from Home Alone 2. Just to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Just the hotel. He's outstanding in that fucking movie. He's so goddamn funny.
Yeah. Fucking hell. That's it. Mate, if you did that would be amazing.
Yeah. I'm super excited.
Yeah, that would be cool, man. Yeah, there you go. What, David Ayres, again, what's the meaning of life?
42, innit?
Apparently.
See, there's a part of me here that would love to actually kind of get serious for a second, rather than being the cliche, funny kind of answers. Like, but I don't want to get that deep on a podcast either. But like, I don't know.
I'm gonna quote one of my all-time favourite authors and writers here, and I'm gonna say this. Find what you love and let it kill you. There. Charles Bukowski.
Yeah.
Find what you love and let it kill you. Enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. Don't be put off by what other people say. Do what makes you happy and fuck the rest. If they don't like it, they don't have to. But just be happy. There you go.
I want to leave it at that because I think that is just the right response to have on this podcast.
Yeah.
McPoo! How many games that you've already completed have you rebought for the Switch? 0.
Yeah, none.
I don't think I have.
I suppose technically I didn't buy it, but I've got Salt and Sanctuary. But that was for review. So I've not actually. I rebought Shovel Knight, but I'd never actually finished it, so that doesn't count.
I would say, would Skyrim count? Like, in some way? But like, if we're talking like actual Switch games, like I rebought Mario Kart 8. I actually like sold that first. I know it's just disgraceful to say you'd sell a Mario Kart game, but I sold it because at the particular time it was going for like seriously crazy high trade value, and I wanted to get another game, and I wasn't playing that at the time. But I rebought that, and I actually have only been thinking about rebuying Splatoon 2 because I don't have that again, and I want it again because that game was just a lot of fun.
I bet you'll rebuy Diablo, won't you?
Oh Jesus!
Oh yeah,
that's the day one for me, man. Like I put in like over 500, maybe close to 600 hours in that game. Like,
fuck.
Like I went bananas on it because. Quick story. It was basically the reason I got Diablo was because I was playing a lot of World of Warcraft, and I unfortunately became that South Park episode. I did become like that person. Like I did have a moment where I was playing World of Warcraft on an evening, and my girlfriend was asleep, and she woke up saying bye to me as she was leaving, and I was still playing it. And I think then I was like, holy smokes! I was like, I need to like stop this. And plus the paying it all the time, I was it wasn't good, and I was buying stuff, so I went to Diablo because that was just free. To like once you buy it, you just off you go. And wow, did that stick its hooks into me? That was actually just worse, if I'm honest, because that was all like horror and blood, and I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing. So yeah, and I ended up buying like 3 collector's editions of Diablo and everything when it came out. Like, it was
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I still have them sealed and everything.
Bloody hell. That's cool. I love them to release like a battle royale so you and Mick could go at it.
I'm sure Mick would absolutely destroy me. See, I never, even though I put time into these kind of games, that does not mean that I'm actually like incredibly good at it. I just really enjoy it. Like Mick is like in depth with gear and stuff. He goes for it, you know. I like it too, but I just, once I see the purple colour, I'm like, quit.
yeah. Just before I move on, because I'm going to forget, I want to talk about 2 quick articles that we've got up, because you reminded me with Mario Kart. Go and read Chris Hyde's Mario Kart list. He's ranked all the main kind of Mario Kart releases. It's a pretty solid list, to be fair.
It is.
Double Dash isn't one, but hey, we can't have everything.
I know.
I do agree with him though, that I do think the number 1 is the right choice.
It's certainly 2 for me. A solid number 1 and 2, but I would definitely have Dash. Double Dash
between
first.
Those two. I just think like Double Dash obviously has more memories to me of being in a room with friends and playing it. But I do like whenever I go back to Double Dash, I just think the controls are just immaculate. I think it's like, and the balance of the weapons is super funny. Like the blue shell is crazy in Double Dash and everything. But like 8 is like the package. It is the pristine package, but I just think in terms of fun and carnage, Double Dash is the one. Yeah,
definitely.
Well, it's a great piece.
No, it is. And also, Mick Fraser's piece on, what's the game we talked about earlier? Monster Hunter World.
Oh, yeah.
His piece on Monster Hunter Generations, because like a lot of people haven't played previous Monster Hunter games, so it's good coming from someone who has only played World and how it does differ. So definitely go and check that out.
And Mick has played a lot of World.
Yeah,
he's played
I didn't realize he continued, and then like 4 months later, it was like I stopped playing this, and like he showed off his gear, and it's absolutely nuts.
Yeah,
like he's a beast at that game. Next question from Robert Sisson at the Sissonator. Am I going to be alive by the time Cyberpunk game is released? I, of course, don't care when it is released, as it will be incredible, but, you know, I'm oldish. Age isn't the only thing that kills you. No one knows what's around the corner, but I would say probably you'll be alive. Next question. In Sari We Trust at Mellyman10. What do we think the cost will be for the Xbox subscription model that's been rumoured for US launch, might be here in the UK? So we actually didn't know what that was about before we saw the question, so we had a little look. And basically the Xbox subscription model is paying a price to own an Xbox One X or an S if you choose to, Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold. And it's been rumoured for about $34.99. That's in dollars in America. So whatever the rate is over here. Now, I don't know. Is that any good? It's also a fixed 24-month contract as well. You can't dip out of it if you don't like it. So it's a lot of commitment as well.
I suppose it's not too bad because it's 2 years, and it's probably going to be about 2 years until the next Xbox comes out. So
yeah, I suppose.
It might not be too bad in that you're in that area and you're not just having to offload a console or something like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. It might be a good idea. I don't know. I mean, it's only in the US at the minute anyway, isn't it? So if we do get it in the UK,
if it does come over here,
yeah. I mean, I'd expect £40 a month or something, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it does seem quite a lot, but I don't know.
It wouldn't be for me because, as I said, I just think that like the console would feel like it's mine, and I wouldn't want to give it back. It's all right, I suppose. If people don't want like a constant clutter of stuff. I don't know, but it's a really just bizarre kind of option, I suppose, if you want to call it that. I just think just buy the console. Just
just own it. Next question from Darren at Rotten. Kotaku recently re-reviewed Halo 5, not just the multiplayer, but also the essentially unchanged single player. Do us fellas and the rest of the team at God is a Geek see a benefit in giving older single player games from this gen a new review? Personally, if the game has remained unchanged, not at all. I don't see the point of re-reviewing games that haven't had any kind of changes.
Yeah, I mean,
just go and read an old review.
Multiplayer stuff, but single player, because I mean, like Halo 5's multiplayer has probably changed quite a bit since launch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Single player, I mean, I replayed it. Was it last year? I did a thing for the site.
Yeah,
and I mean, the game was exactly the same. Nothing, there was nothing different, and I don't see the point unless something massive has changed in that single player game. I suppose there's a possibility of if there's been like multiple expansions released, like single player expansions, maybe because they might have brought some gameplay tweaks with it.
Yeah.
On the whole, I'd probably say not really. I don't see the point.
I mean, there's a really good site. I can't quite remember the name now, but they do replays. They do that, which isn't technically a review. It's going back and playing older games. I think it's called Replayed. They've done The Last of Us, Halo 5, Bloodborne. They're fucking cracking reads. So I suggest you go and search them. Certainly worth a read. Next question.
Did a piece for us as well, didn't he?
Oh yeah, it's us.
The Last of Us.
We fucking nailed them. That's right, lads. You go check out all the replays at God is a Geek. Yeah, we did them. We run this town. Next question. By Alap Trivaldi at Alap Trivaldi. I really hope I pronounced that right. Apologies if I haven't, mate. But will we ever have full AAA titles without microtransactions like Spider-Man? I think they're still around. I mean, God of War, was that not one? That didn't have microtransactions.
The Witcher didn't have any.
Yeah.
Witcher 3.
Yep.
Cyberpunk won't have any.
Yeah, they're still being made.
They are there. I think the whole microtransactions thing is kind of it starts to die down a bit, and I think developers are kind of going. If they're going to do microtransactions, it's in like a free-to-play game, or they are just like cosmetic things.
Yeah, which I've got no problem with like cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it's as bad as it once was.
No. Yeah, I think people have taught note, haven't they? And they've just gone, let's just find other ways to kind of do it. But yeah, they're still around, and I'm sure they will be for a long, long time. That's it for questions. So thank you all that have emailed in. Next, we're going to go to the Patreon section. We're going to get to talk about all the stuff we've been up to other than games. Now we're telling the story about how I convinced a Russian stripper to rejoin the orchestra. So there we go.
What?
We're now in the Patreon section. What? Do you not believe me?
Just continue, my friend. It's okay.
Okay. So my one and only. This is actually true. My one and only time I was in a strip club, and I paid. I think it was about £100 that night, and the only thing I got out of it was the knowledge that I made a very lovely Russian stripper sit down next to me and start talking to me about her career, and how she used to be in the Russian orchestra and that she dropped out and had to come to England and she doesn't get to play it anymore and she's got no job prospects. And then I had to say, try and find a way to get back there, follow your dreams. And she was like, thank you very much. And then the dance was over, and I just paid £50 for a woman to sit next to me and give career advice to. So,
is that interview up next week on the site?
That interview is already up. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic!
Yeah, you can go and check that out on
videoreview.com.
Video review. Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was a classic. Before we get into what other people have been playing, I just want to quickly say To everyone that donated to my stream last Saturday, to everyone that stopped by and commented, thank you very much. I raised £320 in total, and a lot of you guys, Patreons, really kind of helped get us to that. So thank you very much. It was all
it was good, man. Well done. It was a good.
No, thank you.
Did you have fun doing it and stuff? And
I did. I played the whole of Gears of War 4 from start to finish in one sitting, which I'm really glad I did because I'd never played that game before, and I've had it for a long time. And I just thought, right, this is perfect. I need a game that's going to keep me entertained. I love Gears of War anyway. I've never touched it, so I just gave into it and absolutely loved it.
Nice.
And then I think you popped on and saw me with Just Cause very late into it, but it was early hours of our time, like early evening of yours, I guess.
Yeah, it was.
And Just Cause 3, I'm still playing that now. Like I love it. Absolutely love it. It is. It's just so much fun.
The gliding is so addictive.
It is. Yeah. And like there's like I've taken down one of the bases, and it's like a massive, like 4 massive satellite dishes.
Yeah.
There's like all sorts of shit, and then you go up and you shoot them, and then it falls down while you're still stood on it, and like you're jumping off, and then helicopters are flying around, and you're trying to get on the bottom of them, and man, it's just chaotic. But yeah, I can't believe I've never played that before. But yeah, the stream was great. Thank you again to everyone that donated and helped me out with that. Thank you. But yeah, that's it. So thank you all for joining us for the podcast. You can follow us all on Twitter. Adam is at AdamZokes. Gary is at BlueFury47. I'm at First Avenger 83. And obviously go and follow at God is a Geek. Go to the website as well at godisageek.com. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff coming up, plenty of stuff on there now. Loads of videos, loads of features, loads of reviews. Go check us out. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And take care, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.